What's going on, boxing fans? It's Julian Williams with The Distance. I'm back with another video for my top 5 welterweight series. Wrapping it up today. I did talk about my other number one, who was Sugar Ray Leonard. Tied with Sugar Ray Leonard is Sugar Ray Robinson. And just to remind you guys, my number 5 in this top 5 series is Pepino Cuevas. My number 4 is Thomas Hearns. 3 is Pernell Whitaker. 2 is Kid Gavilan. And 1, tied with 1 is Sugar Ray Leonard. My other number 1 right now I'm going to talk about is Sugar Ray Robinson. Immortality is something that a lot of people look for, whether it be in sports, whether it be in acting, any profession. Being at the top of something is very important to pretty much everybody, because it's like, why be on top? Why settle for less when you could be the top person, the top dog? Every boxer, in the sport of boxing, every boxer wants to achieve the level of immortality that this man has, possesses, that level of immortality. Though he lost 19 bouts, though he had money issues, though he had many draws and wars in the ring, it doesn't take away from his legacy. And a lot of people count that out and criticize him for losing 19 bouts in his whole career. I'm not just making it up, because there's I've heard a few people here on YouTube, and I've seen on forums and stuff with people criticizing Sugar Ray Robinson. Oh, he had 19 losses, this, that, and the other, which is crazy and ridiculous, considering how many times he fought, and 2, considering the level of opposition that he had, and 3, considering the generation that he fought in. Because in the generation that he fought in, he fought some hard-nosed opponents. Mostly at middleweight. Welterweight, he fought some really good opponents there, and it took him years, about 7 years of his career, to finally win a welterweight championship again, which was against Tommy Bell, like 46-47. But Sugar Ray Robinson, pound for pound, my opinion and a lot of other people's opinion, is the greatest fighter of all time. But a lot of people will say that Sugar Ray Robinson is the greatest, fighter of all time, pound for pound, because they heard somebody else say it. They heard somebody else say, "Oh, Sugar Ray Robinson is the greatest pound for pound fighter of all time." But the question is why? Why is he the greatest fighter of all time, pound for pound? He was skilled, he was sharp. He had pretty much every ability, in boxing. He had everything in boxing he had down. If there was a perfect boxer, Sugar Ray Robinson would be that perfect boxer. A fighter who could jab, a fighter who could dance around the ring, a fighter who could stay on the, who could fight on the inside, fight on the outside, throw a right hook, left hook, throw a right jab, had a good chin, all that stuff. He had everything. He had all the tools, all the tools that every boxer wants these days. Everybody, I don't care what boxer it is, wants to be on that level of immortality that Sugar Ray Robinson possessed. Sugar Ray Robinson, had some pretty good matchups in his career at welterweight. He fought Jake LaMotta, who was a middleweight, as a welterweight. He was like 144 in that fight, and LaMotta was like 160. Fought Jake LaMotta, which was his first loss. He defeated Henry Armstrong, one of the greatest lightweights of all time. And other than that, he fought Jimmy Doyle, he fought Tommy Bell, and Kid Gavilan twice. Pretty good resume at welterweight. He did hold the belt for about 3 years, though many could speculate about him holding the title or whatever. because back then they fought a lot of exhibitions. They fought more often, more frequently, and but at the same time you had different level of opposition. It wasn't like Sugar Ray Robinson was fighting a bunch of bums over his career as a as a welterweight or middleweight. But Sugar Ray Robinson possessed skill. He possessed something that a lot of boxers only wish to achieve, to possess. And some of us boxing analysts on YouTube want to possess knowledge of the sport, great knowledge of the sport. Me, that's what I want to achieve. I want to be immortal at it. I don't want to be the best at it, but me, I want to be good at what I do. I want to be great at what I do. And really, a lot of boxers, when they say, pound for pound, I'm the best, etc. That's a phrase going back to Sugar Ray Robinson, perhaps the greatest fighter of all time. He held the welterweight championship for about 3 years. Ended up moving up to middleweight, fighting Bobo Olsen for the middleweight championship, and went on to hold 5 middleweight titles. Career ended in the 60s. Fortunately, if you ask me, I actually thought his career should have ended maybe after the Turpin fight, maybe, or after the Fulmer fight when he landed that left hook on Fulmer that put Fulmer out. But anyway, that's all middleweight stuff. But yeah, anyway, that was my number 1 welterweight, Sugar Ray Robinson. And people really need to stop comparing Sugar Ray Robinson to Floyd Mayweather Jr. The only things that they have in common is they both held welterweight championships, and they both went 40-0. It's really the only things that you can compare with these two. But overall, Sugar Ray Robinson, hands down, is the best fighter of all time, and there's no comparison between Sugar Ray Robinson and any other fighter, to be quite honest. The only reason I have him tied with Sugar Ray Leonard is because honestly, if you put both of them in a matchup together, to me it would be very hard to analyze and look over. But anyway, that was Distance. I'll be back with my top 5 middleweights in a couple weeks. I'm going to be gone for a while, spring break, so I'll be gone. But anyway, that was Distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.